Hello everypony and welcome to another game of League of Legends where we will be looking at a laning phase. I am playing Annie into Twisted Fate and there are a lot of golden players on the other side of the team, but we will do our very best to keep up. So what we do is we miss our first CS. Good job, Cell. So we Q and Q some more. Generally hang in the back so we can dodge his cards. Those do a lot of damage even in early game. And of course I occasionally attack him, but I get caught in a lot in harassing him, but I do manage to keep up with him in CS somewhat. And I just keep queuing and staying back, keeping my distance, and I think the most important thing is to inform your teammates when this bad pony hits level 6 and he gets me with his cards. I think I activated me a little too late and he blue cards me and I walk into the cards, so I get down to about half of my HP. His blue card does the most damage and gives him mana back, so it is dangerous, but I think the yellow one is just as annoying. So let myself get pushed underneath the turret for a little bit because I kind of don't want to get stunned by him and ganked, especially with all those really good ponies. I can't afford it, so I'm just staying here and farming like a good pony. Not getting every CS here. Auto attack and Q again so we can hit under turret safely. I missed that one. And once again I get a direct Q onto him, stun him, and go back a little bit. I activate my health potions. I think it was both of them. And there he goes with his cards again. As long as you sit in the back, you have an easier time dodging them. Let's see, so next up we have an interesting situation. Let's see, this is going to become interesting. So here, I actually managed to stun him and then flash for flash is exchanged and then I Q onto him. And together with the ignite and my W I managed to get him. Let's go through that again. Let's go through that one more time. Go through that one more time and see what happens here. So I get to stun him. Let's take a look at my passive. My passive is up to 3 stacks. So while my Q is flying, I can press E in mid-air to stun him before he gets to do things with his yellow card. And we manage to stun each other, but just before his yellow card manages to connect onto me, I get my W onto him as well. And now he's stunned. I ignite him. Auto attack, he flashes, I flash after him, in Q, attack for good measures, and that is a dead Twisted Fate. It was pretty cool. Well, that's kind of how you need to play your cards. Get it? Because I'm playing against someone with using cards. I'm a horrible person. Anyway, that's kind of what you need to watch out for, is using your stun against him, because your stun takes a while to charge up. He can have his instantly, but if you work together with your stacks and, you know, using your stun and making it activate while your Qs are flying, then you get a distinct advantage over. But here I realized that I, you know, did a lot and I push out the wave a little bit. I don't have a lot of mana and I decided it's best to just, you know, tail it out of there, go back. So for my first back, I get boots, amplifying tome, some potions. And then that's really all there is to it, and I do go back into lane. Doing anything else? I got a fairy charm for mana reasons. I like getting those in early game. They do help out a lot. They do help a lot in early, but you can sell those off later. Anyway, let's take a look at CS. I'm only behind by 6 CS, despite me having killed him, and I went back. And so the battle continues. And now I'm level 5, and of course we're still watching and getting ready to tell our teammates the second he gets level 6, because then he can teleport onto the other lanes and, you know, do what he's, you know, show up on your lane randomly and blowing you up. But we're gonna try to deal with that. If you have proper vision, have wards everywhere, and you know, generally have an eye on the map, you can kind of, you know, get ideas of where he's gonna go. So I do what I've been doing earlier in terms of farming. I sit back, chuck the occasional Q, get the cannon minion. This is just, you know, kind of a farming lane. Okay, he turned level 6. I instantly tell my guys, I see him walk into the bush, and I see him teleporting into top lane. So let's take a look what's happening here in top lane. So you have Renekton, a low-life Renekton running away, running towards a Twisted Fate who's chasing a Sejuani with even less HP. Twisted Fate keeps chasing. Meanwhile, I'm approaching from the bottom side through the tri-bush. He stuns the Twisted Fate, gives him some damage, and instantly retreats under tower. He barely lives and manages to dodge the cards. And now I come through the tri-bush. I try to see what he's trying to do. He's farming, and so I go through the bottom side. This is warded. He knows I'm coming by now, but by now it's kind of too late at this point. Once again, we're looking at my passive. My passive has 3 stacks, just like the last time. So I have 2 wards, which I'll need because I need to, you know, have vision on him so I can actually land Qs on him. I Q, and while my Q is flying, right now I activate my E mid-air while the Q is flying, and so the Q will stun. And once again, Tibbers, W, and that is another Twisted Fate, which does not particularly like Tibbers apparently, which is a rude thing to do. So I do what I can and return back to my lane. Twisted Fate by now is he's let's see what he's got. He's probably, yeah, it looks like he's going for Lich Bane. Another broken item. Okay, I think I went for Morellonomicons first because I really wanted to keep this Twisted Fate down by, you know, spamming and getting to Q a lot, because Twisted Fate is good at pushing your lane and sometimes you need to push against it, and I missed the cannon minion there. So I just put my oh yeah, I got one of the trinkets early. And Twisted Fate's back in lane. I don't go back because I don't want to, you know, give up the advantage that I've just gotten. So I stay in lane despite me being low on mana, which isn't really too big of a threat for me because all I have to do is sit on the back and press Q, and I actually eat those cards, which I shouldn't be doing, but it's even harder to dodge these things up close. So I stand in the back and take those minions from very far, from very far away. Auto attack, and meanwhile he destroys my ward in the river, but I suppose there isn't much I could do about that. Twisted Fate in 1v1 might be able to take me since, you know, I'm down to half of my HP and a quarter of my mana. So I'm not going to provoke that. I'm sit here and farm and wait for him to make any more plays. I can't engage him as easily. Okay, here's Sejuani tries engaging me, but the problem here is my Tibbers isn't up, and the same thing goes for my mana bar, because my mana bar is actually down. And here Tibbers comes off of cooldown just now, but let's see, Tibbers actually was not on cooldown there yet, and I didn't have the mana to cast him either. So Sejuani was kind of like, you know, why didn't you ult? And I was like, you know, I couldn't. I didn't have cooldowns. Oh wait, I did get the cooldowns off during the fight, but I did run into the mana problem. Okay, but let's go back a few seconds and see what happened. Meanwhile, while we were heading back, Twitch was coming through the bottom side here, and just as the Twisted Fate is about to teleport back, he comes up, gives him a couple auto attacks. He does manage to get the yellow card off and stun Twitch, so they both die, which I suppose is a little bit of a gold advantage for us, since me and Sejuani both got assists off of that. I go back and let's see, what do we get this time? What do we get? Okay, so we didn't really get much other than the Magic Pen Boots. Magic Pen Boots are good for any because, well, running, obviously, we're trying to stun people. The more we run, the better. And our bottom lane's already running into problems. I'm aware of that, so, you know, I decide to take a trip. Take a trip to bottom lane, charge up my stacks. I'm up at 2 stacks. When you're charging your stacks as any ease the best way, because it only like costs 20 or 30 mana. So I go to bottom lane, I want to see what's going on. see if I can catch someone, but those guys thought there's wards, a ward here, and there's another one in their blue buff. Those guys saw me coming from a mile away. And I barely managed to dodge the E, and I decided to turn back because I don't want to give this Jinx anymore. And that Jinx did get very, very dangerous throughout the game, and yeah. Oh, and they found out we had to have a ward there. I just, use my W, Q, auto attack, and Twisted Fate comes into top lane this time, and this time there isn't much I can do because it's 2v1. And there goes the Jinx ultimate flying, which ultimately kills him. But there's one more thing that we have to watch out for. Since they're now in mid lane, and Jinx is there, and Thresh is there, they're most likely going to be able to push through mid lane, but they don't know where it went. They don't know if it went to top lane, or if I'm sitting here in a little trench waiting for them to be here and flush over like I do now. I Q, ult, and tried to Q, but he barely, by a sliver of HP meanwhile. Okay, let's see. This is like the, okay, let's look at this. Was like the portion that happened between me and Jinx. Let's take a look at what happened at the down here. So we have Twitch running from Shyvana. We have Sejuani going in on Shyvana, trying to stop her from attacking Twitch, which does work out fine. I joined the party knowing that, I didn't get to do Jinx in. And now they're just running at this point. They're just running for their lives. Shyvana dies. Shen and Thresh both have to go for their flashes. Sejuani follows it up. But we at least managed to get Thresh, but the carries are still alive, and Shen is also here around. But that doesn't mean we don't get anything from this. In fact, we're able to do a whole bunch of turret damage to the turret and slowly get a little bit of map pressure as well, since they did take first tower in bottom lane. Meanwhile, in top lane, Twisted Fate gets ravaged. But we continue to do our magic and do more wave clear things and at least try to push through as much as we can, but unfortunately we are not able to take this turret just yet. And Shyvana comes up and clears the minions, but that's essentially what you do against Twisted Fate. Is you sit back, you Q, and farm for days, and if you do see him try to go in on you for stun him back, and trade with him, especially once you have tippers. And if you do see him teleport into other lanes and kind of realize, hey, there's a chance you might be able to get him back for it, do it. Because if he takes too much time for dealing with whoever he's trying to gank, and the gank of his own takes too long, then you just might be able to show up there and kill him and get some free gold off of him. But I guess that's really all the magic there is to it, to playing Annie into Twisted Fate. Oh boy. But I guess the game did become pretty interesting, even though it was even in kills, but they did have the tower advantage. But it was interesting nonetheless, since those were players that are ranked higher than me. But I suppose we did alright during the laning phase with Twisted Fate, so I hope you ponies got an understanding of how to deal with Twisted Fate in lane if you ever have stumble into the card chucking human being. But that is all that I have to say today, so thank you every pony so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.